Now, hello and welcome to the Knock On KCLR and Scoreline.ie's weekly rugby podcast. Joined today by Tom Crotty and Johnny Tobin. Welcome back, sir.
How is, lads?
I
hear you've been missing me.
Absolutely. The irony with Johnny is that he's missing the rugby podcast through rugby. So it's all good. You're a busy man, Johnny.
Busy. Yeah, kept going now. Between rugby life and home life, it's a busy few months ahead.
Absolutely.
Trying to juggle them all.
Absolutely, and that's where the trick is, isn't it? Just trying to get all the balance right and everything else as well. Lads, we've plenty to talk about. Kilkenny are playing Bective, a very, very important game for them this weekend. The two, yourselves, your own teams, Tullow and Carlow back to winning ways last weekend. Fantastic stuff. The Heineken Champions Cup, Ireland are busy getting ready for the Six Nations and all that as well. James Blanchfield can't be with us live tonight, so here he is in spirit with his thoughts and a preview of their game against Bective this weekend and his other thoughts.
Hi lads, how are you going? Big weekend coming up for the club at Kilkenny this week. It's really a season defining game for us. Bective at home. It's going to be a big challenge. They're a strong side. They narrowly overcame Gorey last Saturday in a game that Gorey probably could have won. Gorey dominated the game, but Bective just got the early scores on the board and kept taking over. We know it's a huge challenge, but it's not an insurmountable task for us to beat Bective in Kilkenny. There's a little bit of confidence in our camp after last week's performance against Sea Point. Positively enough for us, we've a lot of players returning from injury. Apparently, Joe Manuel, Podgeman are both back this weekend. Gary Dunn and Roy Stanley were back last weekend. Dave O'Connor was meant to be back last week. Apparently he's back this week. So there's going to be a lot of senior players, seasoned players, and match-winning players coming back into our team and squad this week. On last week's performance, we started poorly, defended really well. And then kind of kept Sea Point at bay for a large part of the first half. We got a player sin bin for what was perceived to be a deliberate knock-on. Questionable call whether it was or it wasn't, but got sent to the sin bin, and Sea Point got a score off that and pretty much went in at the break. We were losing, and then after 45 minutes, we were 13-0 down, or 19-0 down I should say, and after that whatever clicked with us, we just went, and we went through the gears. We got some great scores, we played some great rugby, we got it back to 17-19 and could have gotten a draw out of it, and quite possibly should have snatched a win. Again, dubious call around the driving maul that was taken down. Could have been a penalty try on another day, but look, you got to roll with the punches. Some calls went our way last Saturday, other calls didn't. There's a level of inconsistency there at the moment in refereeing that probably needs to be levelled out. But look, at however we are where we are, we're second last in the league now, ahead of Gorey, with a couple of games in hand as well. We have to play Bective twice, Ashbourne twice, and Dundalk once, so we'll be targeting points off all of those games. We feel that another 10 points from those 5 games should be enough to keep us in the league. Our seconds game was called off last week. Again, we couldn't field the seconds team. It's I don't like saying it, but I think it's a little bit pathetic that we can't get a seconds team to travel. I would say John Buckley, their coach, is hugely frustrated. Haven't spoken to anyone about it, but coming from the performance that I put in the previous week against Monkstown, where they were narrowly beaten, to not fielding the following week against Sea Point is wrong. And we as a club need to review that. We need to review the status of seconds rugby to see what's fundamentally wrong with that. Is it a systemic problem that we have in the club? What the issue is, so we can get seconds rugby back moving to the level that we need it moving at. We need to create, I suppose, what I would refer to as not just a culture, a rugby culture, but we need to create a rugby excellence culture where these players feel that the structures are in place, that everything is right to commit. But as the old saying goes, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. Our women's team have a big game this Sunday at home to DLSP in the club. I think it's 1 o'clock kickoff there. They're on a quest for league glory to win the league now. I think they're top of the league. I stand to be corrected. Paddy Moss doing a really good job there, and some really good players coming in around him as well to front up. So if anybody can come out on Saturday and Sunday to support both of our teams, it'd be great. In context for our club, it's a huge weekend. It's a significant weekend for the club. We need to win this weekend to essentially fasten our position in this league. It's not a case that we're losing now and that's what's going to get us relegated. If we are to get relegated, I think we need to look back to the first game of the season away to Gorey. That was a game that we left behind us, and somebody said to me many years ago, and I'm playing, leagues aren't won at the last day of the season. Leagues are won on the first day of the season, and you have to be squeaky clean from the get-go. So it's from that perspective, look at we're playing catch up. We are reacting now, and hopefully our firsts can bag a win this weekend and build on the confidence that came out of last week's performance against Sea Point. Just to touch on that, against Sea Point, apparently there were some absolutely unbelievable performances. I think I didn't make it up myself, but Jake MacDonald put in a performance for the ages, I believe. Wes Carter, Gary Dunn were super. Roy Stanley was super. Liam Phelan, by all accounts, for a guy who's retired about 15 times and he's only 30, had a great game as well. So look, at the message to everyone at Kilkenny is this weekend, please come out to Fookstown on Saturday and shout on our J1s and our J2s. We are quietly confident, but everything has to be done with caution. Thanks guys, sorry I can't be with you this week. Bye bye.
No, he's not with us, but he is with us. James Blanchfield there with a recorded message of the podcast. A lot of pressure, lads, for Kilkenny. When you get to that stage, they're second from bottom, a huge game against Bective. Whatever about things opening up and that being a positive for the club, getting people back in to watch games and bars and all that, but the rugby out on the pitch is under a bit of pressure now as well. It's just trying to stay in Division 1A is going to be a tough job.
I think I still fancy Kilkenny this weekend, especially with those players back in. I mean, as James always said, we all know Kilkenny are a very capable team at the best of times. But I think Kilkenny at home, well, you'd hope that it's like any home club. It's like trying to get a win out of Tullow at home. Doesn't have to go too well either, But and please God, the same to Carlow when we're at home. But I think hopefully I said, look, I want to see James and Kilkenny staying up there, and they put a lot of work to stay there over the last couple of years, and we'll have our fingers crossed for them the weekend. But I think with the players that he has back, if they fire at all, I think they'll beat Bective.
Absolutely. What do you reckon, Johnny?
I'm actually going down to watch it. Kilkenny Rugby Club is kind of my second home now. I've been down in Kilkenny College. I just go across to watch it with Ashmore and Liam Caddy and that involved in Kilkenny, so I go down and watch a few of their games. Like Tom said, it's very hard to get a win in Kilkenny, and I saw them beat a Gorey team that they had no business beating before Christmas. So hopefully they can put on a performance like that again and steal a win against Bective. It'll be no easy feat for them, but you'd be hoping, because they're kind of the club down here that've set high standards for themselves. They're like the Enniscorthy, they're 1A, like them, Gorey and Enniscorthy, they're all 1A standard, and you'd hope they could retain that for the next few seasons. But they have a good few really good rugby players back, so hopefully Ringrust doesn't play into it and they get the win.
Absolutely. Lads, is that a good you got back to winning ways last weekend, a bit of positivity as well. Johnny, we'll start with Tullow, because we haven't been talking to you in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, sure, look, we took advantage of a struggling Clondalkin, and you can only beat what's in front of you. But part of me would feel for them, because they're really struggling mathematically now. They can't catch anyone. But there's ourselves, Mullingar and Longford are all on 20 points. So this weekend is a massive weekend for us. We play Longford at home. Mullingar play Clondalkin, so we need to be the team out of the three that gets the win. With Mullingar, you'd imagine it'd beat Clondalkin. So we need that. We need 5 points, ideally, but we take the 4, and just beat Longford. But yeah, it's massively positive for us because training has boosted up even with the victory. Lads are back out. A lot of young lads coming back out to play. Cathal Bailey's on the first team there. I don't think Cathal Bailey has played rugby, I'd say, safely since he was 17. He's 23 or 4 now, so it's good to see lads like that coming back out and getting involved again. And we had 2 very bad injuries against Kildare a few weeks ago. Shane Rowan dislocated his ankle, and Gareth Fitzgerald dislocated his shoulder. So in the one game, and as everybody knows, backs are few and far between in Tullow, and to lose 2 of them standard players, you're going to be up against it straight away. So look, we are where we are again. Story of our season. We know exactly how Kilkenny feels sitting second from bottom at the moment. So we'll bring it into this weekend. A lot of positivity. 2 good training sessions Tuesday and last night. They're gone, and then we've trained Saturday again, and then next week then into the Longford game. So
Good.
All seems ahead.
Absolutely. Tom, you must have been relieved, man, as well last weekend. Good old win there.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we had 1 or 2 injuries coming into the game. My own young fellow that it was gone with another shoulder injury. Then we got a call for our scrum half, Isaac Daly, woke up on Sunday morning and his knee was out like a balloon, couldn't play. And in the warm up, then Larry McGrath did something to his knee, or I'm not 100% sure on the injury, but Larry had to cry off at the last minute. But we were kind of blessed because we had the seconds. We're just having to run around because Longford couldn't feel the seconds. So the boys just had a run around before the game because they wanted to watch the game and cheer the lads on, which was great. But Cormac Murray stepped in there to take the bench as scrum half, and Jeff McDermott went in as starting 9, and then we had Anthony Mannion, who's captain the second, stepped in to fill a place on the bench, while Owen Edgeshill went in and did a fine job on the front row as well. But I felt like a bit like Mystic Meg on Sunday, because I said 2 things. I said we were being going on about young Alan Owens, and it won't be too long before we see him starting on the first. And Alan started on Sunday. And the other thing is, I said God help the first team when that Carlow meet, when they actually do click, and it's just happened to be Longford on Sunday. So I was in good spirits. Look, we started well. We had the boys, they came out on the field absolutely fired up, really up for the game. We had like an early try from Cayman Brennan on our wing, came in on the wing. Just everyone had sound games. As I say, Alan Owens, he's been playing seconds out half. He's only up from the under 18s last year. He's one of our under 18s, and I've been saying there's plenty of potential, but I think he must have been getting a few lessons from Marcus Smith, because he looked like a chap that was really comfortable and willing to try anything there. On Sunday. So Owensy had a great game. Richie White definitely must have taken a sip from the fountain of youth, because he took off on 25-meter runs and was absolutely in flying fettle at full back. Connor Tracy was playing the back row, and Connor was like a mixture between a bulldozer and Michael Jordan with his offloading game.
Some combination.
Some
combination.
And then we had they played really well. Lineups were good. Defense was super. Defense was just absolutely. I thought Corey was going to jump in off the line and join the boys on the defensive line. Even Corey, who doesn't really show emotion too often, was fired up on the touchline. As I say, I thought he was going to jump in at one stage to help the lads, because
he wouldn't be a bad lad to have in there.
No, but they're
he'd be able to hang it anyway.
Super, huh?
He'd be able to hang it with the best of them anyway.
Yeah, well, you never know. Absolutely. we tried that before, but he's this retired nicely. He said, but no, look, I think our lineups were good, our scrums were good, the defense was good. To be honest, I think the kind of there was a sort of the try that they did get was kind of very soft in the last minute. I think it was kind of give them a long. But we had like cracking tries there from Callum Murphy, or Calendar Warren Murphy as they call him, because for a slight man, he just absolutely avoid. I don't know how he does it. We still don't know how
player,
he does
isn't he?
It just Callum gets the ball, comes into space where there could be 2 or 3 forwards, and I'm talking about back road lads who you deserve to be absolutely dickied back into tomorrow, and somewhere he pops out the far side.
Yeah, he plays with me in the IT. He's as tough. He's as tough as they come.
He's absolutely hard out.
But, and he wins. He wins collisions. He's no business winning.
Oh, totally. Absolutely, totally. So
every time he does it during off, you're standing there going, Jesus Christ.
Well, he gets some odds from us on the sideline because we still never figure out how he does it. But look, lads, I would be extremely happy with the performance from start to finish. We needed that. It's not about the leagues. It's not about anything. It's about when you have the lads out there training. Seconds got the points from are only just points away from if they can get another win, the league will be theirs. Yeah. But like it's when you have guys who are training week in, week out, and you know, and they're nearly there each week. You know, if little mistakes and we lost games. But it was just lovely to see them turn around on Sunday, grab each other by the shoulders, pull them in, and just say, "Look, off we go. We need to win this game. We need to get more, get things going." I mean, there's plenty left in the season. Well, hopefully, plenty left in the season. We still have Byrne next week, and our friendly neighbours Tullow coming over to us for now. Friendly there.
I'm going to miss that one, Tom.
Jeez, we can't.
I'm away in France.
Well, I'd love. I just say if anyone's listening, wouldn't be lovely if it was a Saturday game.
hint, boys, you heard it here first.
Hint, because I tell you, the other thing was lovely, and all joking with rugby aside, it was lovely to be able to go in and have a few pints with everybody and have some sort of normal. I mean, that's the whole idea of rugby as a sport is the social part and having the crack and meeting people and meeting. You know,
Sunday
our lads with their arms around the younger players, just having a chat to them, and you know, it's just a feeling, a bond in the club on Sunday, which you hadn't had, and just felt so good. So thanks to everyone.
I hear a rumor there was a hacky in the club on Sunday in Carlow.
Tommy kicked off.
I heard Tubbsy broke out a hacky.
The end
I saw footage of
the
it
COVID
now,
weekend.
I don't feel too bad about myself. I'd say that anyway.
Oh no, he pulled down the gods of friendliness.
Oh, he put down the gods
with his hacker.
Yeah.
But look, all joking aside,
but they're the crack, though, Tom. That's
isn't it great?
You miss, you know.
Well, we did miss it, and I think everybody out there, you know, if any rugby supporters go to Folkestone this weekend if you're giving Kilkenny a shout. And you know, just go support your local teams, whether they're kids games or adult games. It's just great to be back out again and to be able to have a bit of fun. And I'll just say before we finish up on our own, just well done to them all, and just keep it up because you know they're a fine bunch of lads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you said, Tom, if they clicked last weekend and they can keep that going, it says God help any teams at the meet from here on in.
Well, that's it. Well, we have just in case anyone doesn't know, the Towns Cup draws next Wednesday, and it is live at
Tullow v Carlow in the Black Gate.
Imagine.
No, Johnny, I don't think either side wants Carlow v Tullow in the first round.
No.
Let's leave that down the line a bit. Jeez, don't jinx things.
We'll try to avoid each other till the final.
Yeah, we won't say who we'd like or where we'd like home games, please. The gods of it's us three anyway would like a home game for Kilkenny, Carlow, and Tullow, as long as we're not playing any of each other. So.
Yeah.
And then
it'd be a great weekend out, wouldn't it?
And then there'll be no podcast to follow.
Yeah.
Don't want to be alive on Thursday.
I know
the
everything.
The lads in Tullow are definitely missing the bar crack. I was just thinking there when I seen the video of Tubbsy doing the haka. I for one missed Louis Kilcoyne's rendition of "O Flower Scotland." I know a few younger lads miss Martin Cole singing an Ed Sheeran or a Passenger song. And then Paddy Brown obviously does his little party trick as well. So we're missing them little bits of crack. So I'm looking forward to Sunday week now when we play Longford and Louis does a rendition of "O Flower Scotland" again.
Well, nothing stopping us recording the podcast out of one of the clubs either, lads. It can be done.
No, I was actually.
I don't think anyone wants to see what goes on in the clubs on a Sunday night at 11 o'clock. For the select few eyes only.
Yeah, Stephen, you'll be doing a lot of there'll be a lot of those little beeps and bells ringing.
You'd have a lot of editing to do, Stephen. I don't think you'd like it.
It wouldn't be worth it with the amount of editing I'd have to do. And the heckling from the crowd as well. Lads, we'll wrap up the local stuff there. Great stuff, back to winning ways. And we look forward to your matches then next weekend. And like the lads said, if you're listening and you're from Kilkenny, head out to the club there on Saturday the 29th. If you're listening to this on Friday or Saturday morning, and head down and watch the lads play as well. It's a good afternoon out as well, and give them a bit of support. The clubs are back open now again properly, so head out there and support. Lads, we'll talk Champions Cup now. We'll sort of fly through them as well. Leinster's win over Bath, fairly emphatic. A lot of people... like Leinster hammered Montpellier the week before, and yes, they hammered Bath. But in fairness, Bath tried their best for the whole match. As good as, I'm not saying like Bath have had their struggles now, in fairness, but they put it up to Leinster. Leinster didn't really get going at all till about 20 minutes in.
Yeah, it's a strange one. You were a little bit worried there 15, 20 minutes into the game that there weren't 2 to 3 tries up already, but you're looking at it. It's a conveyor belt of talent. It's a conveyor belt of results. When you put pressure on them, they just seem to just drive through it. 3 weeks ago before the Montpellier game, they had to win by a bonus point. Did anyone see them winning 89-7? I didn't anyway. Did anyone see them trashing Bath the way they trashed them? Not realistically, Bath are struggling, but they're better side than that. Just goes to show you the strength and depth Leinster have at the moment.
Is that a worry though, Johnny and Tom? If Leinster struggle to get off to a good start for 20 minutes, a much better team would cause them fierce problems.
Well,
or do you think? Yeah.
I don't know.
It would be, but it's rigorous too. Like Montpellier was a training session.
Yeah.
That wasn't a game; it was a training session. Like it was just.
Montpellier was a joke.
Yeah, it's actually embarrassing to watch it. Like you're just there going, you might as well have played an under-16 team down in. I'm not going to name a club. Pick anyone randomly, of course. Don't want anyone coming after me over naming the club, but pick someone random.
You're learning, Johnny.
Pick Tullow 16s if you like. But it was embarrassing, so Bath are a strong team, but I don't know. I just think Leinster are so strong at the minute. I just don't think 20 minutes is too worrying if they don't score 2 or 3 scores.
Yeah. Patient enough.
I think Leinster against Montpellier was like a Ferrari up against the Morris Minor, and I think
it was like me racing Steve.
I think.
Yes, lads.
We have our strengths, Stephen. We have our strengths.
But I'd be somewhere with you, Johnny, because I wouldn't be anywhere near Stephen, and that's for one thing. He's like a fine.
I see you out walking the other day by the IT. You were flying it.
I see him walking. I see he was used to jog up by the rugby club. He's like a fine-tuned gazelle there, flying. But I know. I think they were just, Leinster just took. I think as much. Look, we all know it's very hard. Any team will tell you, and Johnny, you know as well as anyone, if you go out and hammer a team or hockey a team the week before, and then you try and turn around and get into the same mode again the following week. The hardest thing, especially when you're trying to get going, is to have a hammer or to hammer a team and then try and get back in the next week. But you could see them in the second half. I mean, Jesus, they were outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Like Jimmy O'Brien with 4 tries.
Yeah.
What you call him, fullback was just outstanding again. Sexton was Sexton's Johnny's a bit rusty still, but you can see the difference. I think Michael Alatoa is going to be the buy of the of the year for them, because I think he's actually coming each game. He's getting better and better and better. Their pack is getting stronger. I think Leinster just will in time, and I think it's a bad idea to not having games during the Six Nations. But hopefully they get over that, But I think Leinster are just really super at the moment. Really, really starting to come together.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Connacht next, lads. Looking like the sports ground and the Viva Stadium. I think the Leinster Games Committee had to meet there during the week, but more than likely it'll be the Viva Stadium. Yeah, Connacht won't be afraid of Leinster, but they can't but have a bit of worry. A team like Leinster coming up, especially if they come through the Six Nations fairly unscathed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a cracking game. Hopefully a cracking game, and I think it's nothing more than Connacht deserve is to have and hopefully, because there's a hell of a lot of Westerners over in this part of the country, and hopefully they get as many tickets as as good as possible, as many tickets as possible, and have a full house in the Aviva.
Yeah, absolutely. Munster Wasps, Johnny. Munster, good old win over Wasps in the end, and a bit more Munster-like. There's something starting to come right down there.
Oh, absolutely. I think they were much better performance as a group of players. A far better performance as a group of players. I thought Healy actually really turned his game around. I had he attacked the gain line. He did something that he didn't do. His lovely dink through for Zebos, the dink for Zebos try. I think he stepped up to the mark. I think the competition now between himself and Crowley is great. So I think Munster are probably on a better, definitely in a better place than they were. Coombs is starting to play better. The pack had a much more solid game. I think it was. Look, it's good to see. It's good to see them fire. It's good to see them fire. And I know Wasps had injuries and stuff, but it's nice. It doesn't matter. They played played a much better brand of rugby, and look, it's great to have the province back. That province back in working, starting to show a little bit of glimmer again. That that they might give a bit of competition in the latter stages of the tournaments.
Yeah, it's it's more of their identity. They're just a bit lost, Tom. Sure, we've been talking about it here for a while, but I thought it was great to see as well. It's like, there you are. That's Munster now in Heineken Cup. That's a bit more like it,
Well, it is, and they're starting to give young lads the chance. And maybe look, it's not about Van Grammer, it's not about Larkham. It's about the players that are there. And I see, like this weekend, they're giving Liam Coombs is back in, Dan Gogg is back in, Matt Gallagher. They're giving young Jake Flannery. Jake Flannery is starting 10. So they're bringing through kids there. Neil Cronin is actually scrum half, and I actually like Neil Cronin. I think he's not a bad at scrum half at all. So they are starting to bring players. Starting to play younger players, and I think Leinster are the same this weekend. Is the young academy Lock got a start? It's getting started.
Getting his debut. Yeah, Ed Byrne is back as well. He hasn't been seen for a while.
Well, it's good to see Ed, because I don't know what happened to his brother. Is this John? I meant to ask Tom. I don't know what's
Brian.
Brian Guy's first run out last weekend with the Bears. He hasn't been playing with them in a while.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. He
got run out last week. Now there was a picture of him on Instagram with the girlfriend, and after happy as Larry to be back. Yeah,
brilliant. And Killian got a run out too. Killian Redmond.
Yeah, and scored a try.
That's savage.
Yeah, saw that. Oh, that's great.
Brilliant.
Absolutely, Johnny, and very proud of Charlie as well. He got named on Charlie Ward got named on the Connacht team last weekend as well. Another lad under your wing.
Yeah, it was great to see. It was a very big weekend for me. That weekend with the two involved in professional systems,
Absolutely.
Charlie unfortunately didn't get a minute, but it was great to see the two of them there. And obviously, Killian scoring a try against probably one of the best teams in the world in Saracens. was very, very good. So delighted for two lads, and long may it continue.
Yeah,
it's
Sean,
a pity
Sean,
Charlie didn't get a run, but I think it was probably mightn't have been the best day to have him start to get a run. I mean, that was a tough pack that they had, and it's actually Connacht's probably weakest thing is their scrum. You know, they really do.
Yeah, to be fair, there was a lot of front row injuries, and it fell in Charlie's fortune. But yeah, like you
he
said,
needs to get
very,
game.
very
But
strong
it's like
pack.
everyone though, Johnny. He needs to get game time, and I believe that these young lads, especially front rows, I don't know where he's getting game time, but he has to get game time. Props are like a fine wine. You know, we mature nice and nicely with age. But
we get better with age.
absolutely better with age. But you know, you have to.
No, but the unfortunate thing for Charlie was when he signed with Connacht, he got an injury and then COVID struck, so he never actually got any Connacht A games because there was none. So he was then fighting rehab and then got another injury and then back to rehab again. So it just fell in a bad term for him with COVID. There was no A games to show his worth, I suppose. And then he was too good then to be released back to the club. They needed to keep him in the training system. So look, it is where it is. He'll strike his luck eventually down the line somewhere and he'll get in.
Yeah, Sean O'Brien's been named for London Irish this weekend as well. He starts at number 8. So good to see Shawnee back as well.
Still life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, it's a pity because they don't. Those games aren't being shown. It's very hard. I can't find that game. And is it on Rugby Pass? Does anyone know?
It's on Rugby Pass. It's on another channel as well. Is it KS?
You have to pay
KZPN or something.
Is it Rugby Pass pays the pay one?
Yeah, the pay one. It's on. Yeah.
So
I think we just go to Kilkenny on Saturday now, will we?
What?
I think we just go to Kilkenny on Saturday.
Yeah. Well,
it's a tenner in, I think.
A tenner in? Jeez, no. You know, I'd love to go down, actually. It'd be great. But I think...
I'm going down. It's at 2:30, so it's not too bad of a time. I'm going over to Tullow first to watch the under-14s there. And then I'm a bit of training with Adam Day, who's in the Leinster 18s mix there at the minute, to do a gym session with him. And then I go down to Kilkenny then.
Good stuff. Good week.
Actually, all the young lads are out at the week. All young lads are out with their a lot of cup matches this weekend. So best of luck to all our 3 clubs.
Absolutely. The lads are training for the Six Nations. The squad is assembled. They're over in Portugal doing warm weather training or whatever it is, or just to get out of the country and do a camp away from everything as well. Seriously strong Six Nations pack name there, and a lot of English, Scottish, Welsh media, and the France manager talking up Ireland going into this as well, talking about it being an Ireland or France Six Nations based on the autumn internationals, the win over the All Blacks and all that. Realistically, should we be that excited going into it?
Sure,
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Have we not earned it?
I know, absolutely.
You know, maybe they're right to talk up Ireland, but they're hiding their own things as well. I don't know. It's Ireland. You'd be blind not to see Ireland as a favourite. Ireland and France is the 2 favourites.
Well, what I can't understand is I saw, Joey Carberry. Yeah, he's flying. There's not a bother on him. Absolutely flying.
He's doing full contact this week.
Yeah,
and everything.
Not a bother. He's brilliant. Absolutely.
What happened to his arm?
What happened to a game? Jesus, when I saw the selection for, you're waiting for the selection to come out for Leinster and Munster to come out to see who's being picked, and I presumed that they would have given him a game, at least one game before the Six Nations. But he's not on the panel. He's not on the panel, but he is good though. There's not a bother on him. So I definitely
magic water down at home and he's drinking.
There's definitely something in the water down there that you can miraculously be ready. And look, he's a fine player, but I that is one choice I'm not agreeing with this, and it's not his ability or anything. I don't think he was. I don't think he was settled coming into it, and like he had a couple of good games, starting to get a little bit more into the frame of things when he was with the autumn internationals. But like the fact he hasn't played, and you're going into the Six Nations, and you're like a cracking French side. England, you're up against Marcus Smith, who is, I mean, they're starting them to, well, England are starting to call him the Messi of rugby. But that'll have to be wait and see what happens there. But he is a cracking player. And England have a good few injuries as well. Farrell is out; he's gone.
Well, Farrell is a big loss.
Yeah, so like England have their own worries. I mean, they still have serious players. I mean, maybe there's going to be young fellas there get a chance to get a bit of game time. But I think England.
Yeah.
If Jones can, sometime Eddie Jones' selection stuff kind of a bit weird. Doesn't come to form, or I don't know. There's a lot of young players out there that could be getting games, and he doesn't seem to give them. He seems to rely a lot on security of the players that are there and tried and tested. But with Marcus Smith at the helm, I think they're definitely in there. Wales are just going to appear. They're like Superman.
Out of nowhere, steal another one.
They rip off their club jerseys, and the red is underneath, and they're totally different. Totally different kettle of fish when they have the red jersey on. They just like fucking super. Yeah, they are super.
It's our Ken Superman moment.
Yeah, it's just they just really are. We all know that they can come from. You're all there thinking Welsh rugby is in the doldrums, and Wales are crap, and this, and the chat comes out, and all of a sudden then they're in the mix up for winning the Grand Slam.
Yeah,
Alun Jones will be a big loss to them, though.
Yeah,
psychologically a big loss.
Yeah,
same as Owen Farrell for England, be a psychological big loss.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm looking forward to it now. And again, if Ireland hit anywhere near that form that they had in the autumn, it's going to have a couple of exciting matches. That France match someone said that they can see, the Ireland-England match will be the decider of the Six Nations. But I think, the Ireland-French match is going to be something else. It'll be Ireland's
next weekend.
Yeah. Ireland's biggest test now. To see where Ireland is, it'll be France, the France match. But you have to get over your Welsh match first and see how you go after that. And a lot of the Welsh journalists during the week were talking down Wales, saying, we say every year that we're in trouble, but this year we're in the most trouble we've ever been in, and we're really not looking forward to it. And this could be a watershed moment for Welsh rugby. And like what happened, you said, Tom, it says they'll be in the hunt now.
But they're just phenomenal. We all love Wales. It's one of the reasons, that Welsh, that's everybody loves the Welsh, is because they turn around and, like, as I say, they're down in the doldrums. They're, they're nearly.
They're the Tullow of Six Nations.
And just suddenly appear. Woo-hoo, we're back. We're there.
There we are.
But they are, they're just they're phenomenal. And then Scotland, you're knocking off Scotland. You can't say that Scotland haven't played really, really well.
The biggest game first. They've England the home first.
Yeah, and they're individual. They have individual players. I don't like when they pull them together. If you look at the amount of Scottish players playing seriously well in top 14, playing seriously well in the in the English Premiership, and the players that are playing for Glasgow and Edinburgh, and they have, when they all come together, they are a formidable force too, and they could cause an upset. Well, hopefully they'll beat England in the first one and cause a really good upset. And we
of course,
the Six Nations done. Doesn't matter after that. England lost the game. It's over.
We'll all be happy. We'll all be happy with that. And but it's
we better be careful in case someone from the English Rugby Union comes after us.
Well, I can't say anymore because I'm afraid of saying anymore. I don't know who I can
better say that.
Sorry. Actually,
people are listening.
Best of luck England, best of luck Scotland.
Just one mention I have to. I don't know if anyone's ever has seen the Carlow tweets for the last two matches.
Oh, Jesus, Tom, they're hilarious.
Right. I have to. Bruce, if you're listening, Bruce is our new Twitter master. But I want to see, let's see, will he be as faster with his feet when he gets back playing Bruce, you are actually a rugby player, and you are only, well, I suppose you're getting on like Richie, but we want to see you back on the field and see his magic on the field as you are with the Twitter. He's smart, but he's
tweets are brilliant.
He's given us some cracking things. So I have to say, Bruce, well done. Big clap to you. I think everybody's enjoying your tweets, man.
Willie John McLinesy was the best one.
Well, he thanked me for all the work I did. He said, "I'm doing what was it? Thomas now has his own rugby podcast, but it's obvious now that Tom knows nothing about podcasting and rugby. So there's nobody not in the fight.
Bonzo's one was brilliant.
Which was
he put up one about Bonzo was at the sideline today. Something to do about his greatest achievement in life was pulling Miriam. Or what's the wife's name?
His wife is Mrs. Miriam.
Lads, that's some crack.
Brilliant.
Long may it continue as well.
Look, that's it.
It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Lads, brilliant stuff. Thanks a million for talking to us. James Blanchfield joined us earlier in the show. Johnny Tobin from Tullow and Tom from Carlow. We've a couple of matches to look forward to in the URC this weekend, and then it's all go for Six Nations after that, and and Champions Cup after that. So lots to look forward to, and of course Towns Cup draws coming up next week, and you've our own leagues still to play out as well. Lots going on. The bars are open again, thank God, and onwards and upwards. Thanks a million for talking to us, boys.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers, Steve.
Thanks, Jenny.